Namaskaram. Welcome to my channel. So today I would like to share something which occurred in my childhood when I was going to high school. Okay, so at that time I was extremely interested in watching movies. I was not that much into reading. I felt I never had the time, though I had a lot of books. I never felt like reading any of them. Okay, but when it came to watching movies, it was an entertainment. It was very interesting, and I could watch any number of movies back to back. Okay, so at that time, uh, we had actually initially video cassettes and then DVD, and of course, we had star movies, which used to come and almost several movies back to back. Okay, so um, one of those movies which came up in TV was Gandhi, the story of Mahatma Gandhi, and which actually is based. It's a movie by Richard Attenborough starring Ben Kingsley, and that movie was based on Mahatma Gandhi's own autobiography, My Experiments with Truth. Okay, so I this was an Oscar-winning movie, so it was really well made, and it told the story really nicely. And because the movie was that good, okay, and I had um, this book, My Experiments with Truth, with me for a long time, which I didn't touch. I was just curious to read the book and understand, what Mahatma Gandhi would have told in his own autobiography. So I picked up that book. I think I was studying around eighth standard probably. I picked up that book and I tried to read through it. Okay, so actually I never completed it. Okay, but it was a very interesting book and very revealing, and I felt Gandhi had a lot of courage to write what he had written. Okay, and I came across one passage which actually deeply influenced me. Okay, so Gandhi, when he was in South Africa, okay, see, he wanted to understand Sanatana Dharma. He was a practicing lawyer, and he had to go a long way to office, and he was busy every day. Okay, he wanted to understand Sanatana Dharma, and he wanted to read the Srimad Bhagavat Gita. Okay, so he never found time though. So what he did, okay, so he every day, um, when before showering, when he went for a shave, he used to keep the mirror in front of him, and he used to keep the Bhagavad Gita right next to the mirror. And as he was shaving, he used to read 2 to 3 couplets per day, okay, and then digest it. Okay, so this way he completed the book around 1 year time. He completed Bhagavad Gita over 1 year or 2 years time. Okay, this I found very interesting because see, um, my grandparents had several versions of Bhagavad Gita, not several versions, several translations at home. They were all very bulky and huge, and they all had someone else's interpretation, and I was least interested in touching any of them. Uh, I, I, I felt, I didn't feel like actually listening to somebody else's interpretation, somebody else. It was like, it was not that interesting at all. Okay, so I used to just lie there. So, but then after reading this in My Experiments with Truth, I was really curious. Okay, what was there in that book which made Gandhi that interested? And also, since I also didn't have time, so I felt that I could find the time if I could find 15 minutes in a day. Okay, sometime before I went to school, okay, before I had breakfast in the morning, if I could find 15 minutes in the day just to read a couple of lines, maybe I'll find something. Just simply curious. Okay, so I picked up the easiest path. Okay, and my grandfather had gifted me earlier print of this book, which is a pocket version of Bhagavad Gita, literal translation. And this is a publication by Sri Ramakrishna Mutt, Mylapore, Chennai. The first print was in 1974. I think my grandfather gifted me something like that, one of the prints which he had in, um, I think 80 or something like that, 1980 or something like that. And he he had marked out several verses for me to read. I never read them, okay, at that time. Still, I decided to use that book, just out of curiosity, just to see what's there. Okay, so I started exploring. I Every morning 15 minutes I would read just the literal translation of two or three couplets and try to digest it in, okay, on all the working days. 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So this went on for around 1.5 years or something, or maybe even more. That's the time I took to complete the entire Bhagavad Gita. I have to tell you, it was very transformational. I found a lot of answers to what I was searching. Okay, and then I decided that I'm going to repeat this again and again. Okay, so I was then when I after I finished the book, maybe I think when I was in eighth. Then I left a gap of around 6 months, and then when I was again seeking, see, the mind matures, mind grows, and then we get new questions. And again I repeated the same exercise, 15 minutes per day, every day. Okay, and then that went on till I finished my 10th or 11th. And then when I started my engineering, again repeated the same exercise. Each time I did this, I not only got a lot of answers, I got to learn a lot of new perspectives. Okay, so so in these, in these uncertain times, right? I'm thinking of doing that again. And today being Janmashtami, uh, I wanted to start it on this day. Okay, so just to be clear, okay, though the Bhagavad Gita is revered by Hindus and Sanatana, basically in Sanatana Dharma a lot. Um, I didn't start reading Bhagavad Gita for any religious intent. Okay, and I'm not going to do it right now as well. It is not for the cultivation of bhakti. That can be a side outcome, but that is not my intention. So, and it is not for any one religion. Okay, and it is not for a holier than thou or wiser than thou attitude, which I'm going to say. I'm not going to read the shlokas to help you learn Sanskrit or get Sanskrit pronunciation or score some points with God, get some punya points or whatever. So that's not the intent at all. I'm just going to read the literal translation directly from chapter 1 and maybe add one or two lines from what I experienced in my past. So, if you are a total atheist, I get it. This is not about God, okay? And you could still listen or you could discard it. If you are um, if you're just curious to understand what this is about, maybe you could give it a try. That's how I came in. Okay, so I didn't come in, I didn't start reading Gita to, get some points with Krishna. I didn't do that. Okay, but it changed later on, but that was my finding just out of curiosity. Okay, so I'll be putting out regular shots from now on, and if you're interested, you can listen to them. And if you don't have the time to read, you can just listen to this from me. Okay, and one more thing. There are tons and tons of great preachers and philosophers talking about Bhagavad Gita. So I'm not here to give you some gyan or wisdom which you might not already have. This is just to, a sort of a curious exploration, if you will. That's all. Thank you.